We are on the cusp of 2025, and I don't do New Year's resolutions. I do a word. I believe I've done this word before, which is why I'm running it back, which is discipline.
I mean, two cities.
Can we just keep it a buck? If they're fine enough, if they're funny enough, or if their financial status is what you want, you're throwing all boundaries, standards.
I need people to hear me. I don't care if Joy Taylor was having liaisons with everyone.
What it do with the business is, people? It's your boy That Way with Jasc Travis. Jasc Travis to be precise, man. Now, you know how we do, you know how we doing it. Back in the thing again, you understand me, man? Back around here one more time for your miggity mind, you dig? Alright, man, we got a couple important things to talk about. And let me preface this thing, man. I feel sort of bad, right? I feel sort of bad because I'm a connoisseur of the bad. I love a bad now. You know what I'm saying? I like a bad one now, but like I've said before, they are quite often, what do you call it? Exercising futility. Oh my God, they just have so many quirks and ill-motivated techniques about themselves. You understand what I'm saying? The baddies out here, they call themselves, but it's a tough breed to deal with. But somebody's got to do it. You understand what I'm saying? But the episode here, man, is going to focus on two of them. I hate to do it because if I would see these ladies out here somewhere in these streets, I'd say something real slick to them. You know what I'm saying? But I may be killing my chances if they ever see this episode. They may not like what I got to say, man. One of which, I knew about her back when she was doing Atlanta broadcasting and all that. But let me just name some names, man. Just let you know what we're getting into and give you the direction in which we are going. You understand what I'm saying? We've got a one Joy Taylor. The girl got some talent now. Check out. She got some talent now. And a one Sharon Reed. Now you may ask, what do the two have to do with each other? I'll fill you in a minute. For those of you all that are not aware, you know about last week or so, we get this explosive story from a young lady what was a hairdresser over at FS1, Fox Sports, the whole little conglomerate, the whole little, you dig? She's disgruntled. She's got some complaints, some explosive allegations. She's got a lawsuit. Now, I've got the lawsuit printed out. I'm going to read you some excerpts from it. You dig what I'm saying? But that's pretty much where we are up to the speed of, you know, where this all came from. Now, I had this story on the back burner, but I hadn't gotten around to it just yet. And, you know, it was still in the mix or what have you. But then I saw a clip from one Sharon Reed, and it just kind of, I couldn't resist. It's like, man, it was one of the freeziest Trey Young takes. You know, man. That's I call him Trey Young. Anyways, yeah, man, I thought it was outrageous what Shawty had to say. You dig what I'm saying? So it just sparked my interest. I said, man, I got to go ahead and roll these two up in a nice little bundle. You dig what I'm saying? And do that way with Jasc Travis thing. So before we get into the videos, and I got a handful of videos, man, and I don't know that it makes such a great case for either of the individuals involved in this video. But before we get into those, like and subscribe to the channel, and I get in the algorithm as I always say. You dig? But I'm gonna read you some couple paragraphs out of the lawsuit. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of set up where we're going, introduce some key players in this thing, and then we'll go accordingly. You dig what I'm saying? So, summary of action. All right. Miss Faraji brings forth this action because for over a decade at Fox, she was forced to endure a misogynistic, racist, and ableist workplace where executives and talent were allowed to physically and verbally abuse workers with impunity. When Miss Faraji and others came forward and reported the wrongdoing, instead of addressing their concerns, Fox retaliated against them, while the perpetrators and those who protected them were inexplicably promoted. This case thus represents yet another in a long line of cases chronicling the toxic culture at Fox, marked by bad faith promises and repeated failures to address a poisonous and entrenched patriarchy. All right. While not currently named as defendants herein, Mark Silverman, president and COO of Fox Sports, Eric Shanks, CEO and executive producer of Fox Sports, may become named defendants based upon discovery yet to be adduced in this action concerning their involvement with respect to Ms. Faraji's claims. On information and belief Mr. Silverman and Mr. Shanks approved, were made privy to or should have been privy to all significant employment decisions and personnel-related investigations related to misconduct and or harassment by Fox Sports executives and talent. Further, on information and belief, Mr. Silverman and Mr. Shanks, along with Fox legal team, worked hard to protect perpetrators by forcing individuals who were witnesses to or targets of misconduct and or harassment to sign non-disclosure agreements upon separation from employment. All right. In approximately March 2016, Ms. Faraji met Ms. Taylor, an aspiring sports personality that had recently moved from Miami to Los Angeles for the opportunity of airtime at Fox. At the time, Ms. Taylor did not have a regular position, but would fill in on a day-to-day basis when talent was sick or otherwise missed time. Ms. Taylor told Ms. Faraji that she was recently wed, but her husband remained in Miami and that she was lonely in Los Angeles. Ms. Taylor then befriended Ms. Faraji. In approximately May 2016, Ms. Taylor asked Ms. Faraji to meet for a drink in Santa Monica. When Ms. Faraji arrived, she found Ms. Taylor with an older man, Fox Sports executive, vice president of content, Mr. Dixon. As executive vice president, Mr. Dixon is responsible for overseeing all content and production on FS1. Ms. Faraji, however, did not know Mr. Dixon. When Mr. Dixon went to buy them another round of spicy margaritas, Ms. Faraji asked who he was. Ms. Taylor responded that he was just a friend. Following that night, whenever Ms. Faraji would meet with Ms. Taylor for drinks or food, Mr. Dixon would either arrive with Ms. Taylor or show up later. Alright. In approximately summer of 2018, Ms. Taylor was moved from Undisputed to the Herd. I think I'm out of order, actually. No. In approximately summer of 2018, Ms. Taylor was moved from Undisputed to the Herd with Colin Cowherd. Ms. Taylor again requested Ms. Faraji to do her hair. Colin Cowherd also requested Ms. Faraji to do his hair. Thus, every day, Ms. Faraji would do Mr. Bayless's hair for Undisputed and then would do Ms. Taylor and Mr. Cowherd's hair for the Herd. Throughout her entire tenure at Fox, Mr. Cowherd was professional and respectful to Ms. Faraji and her co-workers. Around this time, after learning of Ms. Taylor and Mr. Dixon's sexual relationship, Ms. Taylor's then fiance broke off the engagement and threatened to go public with all that he knew. On information and belief, Mr. Dixon paid for the wedding deposits in an informal exchange for her fiance's silence. Oh, man. Moving on. Ms. Taylor again uses her sexuality to get on a show. In approximately February 2020, Ms. Taylor asked Ms. Faraji to meet her for lunch in Beverly Hills. When Ms. Faraji arrived, she found Ms. Taylor with a man, Emmanuel Acho. Ms. Faraji did not know Mr. Acho, but could tell that the two were romantically involved. A few months after meeting Mr. Acho at the lunch, Ms. Faraji noticed him in the hallway while at work. Ms. Faraji later asked Ms. Taylor if Mr. Acho also worked at Fox, Ms. Taylor confirmed and explained that she wanted Mr. Acho to eventually recommend her on the show Speak For Yourself. All right. Ms. Faraji became alarmed and warned Ms. Taylor that she should probably not sleep with Mr. Dixon and Mr. Acho at the same time, as Mr. Dixon is a very powerful man that may become very angry. Ms. Taylor told her not to worry about it. She explained that she was also now powerful, and once Mr. Dixon was no longer useful to her, she would follow through on her plan to tell the company that he forced himself on her. She would not allow herself to be forced out by Mr. Dixon like other women talent. Sheesh. Move on to this part. Ms. Faraji believes she has cancer and conveys this to Mr. Bayless in an attempt to stop his advances, only to have him offer $1.5 million to have sex. God. Over the years, Mr. Bayless continued to make advances on Ms. Faraji, hugs, kisses on the neck, and appropriate comments that he could change her life if she acquiesced to having sex. Ms. Faraji would always make excuses regarding her son, politely change the subject, or make a joke, anything to keep Mr. Bayless appeased and her job safe. In July 2021, Ms. Faraji developed issues with her left ovary and was advised it could be cancer. With the fourth biopsy scheduled, she explained her situation to Mr. Bayless, hoping that he would take pity on her and cease his advances. Instead, Mr. Bayless told her that he wanted to be with her. Ms. Faraji panicked and began rambling that there were cameras everywhere, that she has a child, and that she does not want him. Mr. Bayless then grabbed her hand, began kissing him, and offered her $1.5 million to have sex. Ms. Faraji made an excuse to leave. Oh my God, it's wild in that Fox, bro. Approximately 1 week later, Mr. Bayless made another advance at Ms. Faraji. Ms. Faraji responded, "Skip, don't you have a wife?" Mr. Bayless responded, "Aren't you Muslim?" Sheesh. "Doesn't your dad have 3 to 4 wives?" Ms. Faraji responded that her father was dead. And when Mr. Bayless looked taken aback, she made an excuse to leave. This is heinous material, bro. A couple more, man, and we out of here. On April 16th, 2022, Mr. Bayless called Ms. Faraji. Ms. Faraji did not answer the call because she was scared. She then called him back 10 minutes later. On the call, Mr. Bayless again angrily accused Ms. Faraji of effing Mr. Sharp and said that he could tell from her body language that she was effing him. Ms. Faraji tried to explain that she was kind to all talent, and that included laughing and engaging in conversation. Ms. Faraji then asked if he was yelling at her because she refused to go to his car. Mr. Bayless answered that she shouldn't talk to him like that. Ms. Faraji replied that she could respond however she wanted. Mr. Bayless then angrily stated that he heard her talk to Mr. Sharp about her vagine. Ms. Faraji knew this to be untrue and was embarrassed and angry. Ms. Faraji responded that even if she had been dating Mr. Sharp, which she wasn't, it shouldn't matter at all because she only had a professional relationship with Mr. Bayless. Now, you know, Skip and Shannon, they got smoke, so he ain't like that. Skip said, why ain't it my turn? You understand? Good God Almighty. Moving on to wrap this thing up. Ms. Faraji learns that Mr. Dixon wants her fired. In late August 2023, Mr. Bayless learned that Mr. Sharp and Ms. Faraji had never been involved romantically. Subsequently, Mr. Bayless pulled Ms. Faraji aside for a conversation. During this conversation, Mr. Bayless apologized for accusing her of having sex with Mr. Sharp, disclosed details regarding his August 21, 2023 meeting with Human Resources, and further disclosed that Mr. Dixon wants Ms. Faraji fired because she knew too much and was talking. Mr. Bayless also disclosed that he believes Mr. Dixon kept his wife on Fox's payroll to keep her silent about his affairs with Fox employees. Mr. Bayless asked Ms. Faraji out for dinner to continue the conversation, but Ms. Faraji declined, stating that she cannot do anything that even gives an inference of a non-work relationship because she wants to keep her job. And there you have it. I mean, salacious details, all kind of tomfoolery and bumfuckery going on over there at the Fox News headquarters. But who's surprised? Now, as you heard, we got all kind of stuff going on in that thing, man. Now, I didn't know much about Miss Joy Taylor before this lawsuit hit. I had flashed across the show a couple of times. I wasn't a big fan of it. Acho and all of them didn't really make for a compelling cast, in my opinion. So I didn't know much about it. I had noticed the young lady, you know what I'm saying? I knew what her name. I think I heard her name involved in some previously at some other time, but I didn't know a bunch about her. But, when I heard it, I'm like, ooh, yeah, you dig what I'm saying? So I decided to start looking into it, you dig what I'm saying? So I type a name in a couple of platforms or what have you and just go see what pops up. And this is the first video. Well, this isn't the first video I saw. I saw a comment, and the comment was something along the lines of women rights activists telling everybody how to do better, life coach type of glow up situation type of lady, like you would be the one out here sleeping your way to the top type of deal. You dig what I'm saying? So off the base of that, I think I clicked on into a tweet or what have you, and I saw this video.
We are on the cusp of 2025, and I don't do New Year's resolutions. I do a word that I kind of manifest for the entire year. I believe I've done this word before, which is why I'm running it back, which is discipline. I'm a pretty disciplined person, but I need to crank it up a notch, and I need to be more disciplined in things that I am telling you guys to do. Like, I need to make more time to sit down and read. I need to journal. I need to stretch. I need to finish setting up my home. Like, there are just things that I need to get to, and I need to be more disciplined about it. And when I am more disciplined, I am more fulfilled. I'm going to be more disciplined this year. It is going to be my word for the year. Let me know what your word is for this year, what you're trying to improve on if you have a New Year's resolution.
Now, in that video, it's very interesting, man. It's a very interesting choice of words going in for the new year. That video was apparently from this past new year coming into 2025. You dig what I'm saying? And she said discipline. Discipline is her word. Discipline is something that she has to get better at going into the new year. Now, we've got some other little videos that's, again, like I said, I don't think it makes great cases for either individual. But that was an interesting play on words. That was an interesting word to choose. We all know what we do out here in the world. You know what I'm saying? It weighs on us differently in different type of situations. But I thought that was interesting, you know what I'm saying, for that to be your last post. Now, of course, that video was before all the little news came out. You know what I'm saying? And we've got a video that we're going to see from Sharon Reed later on in the episode where I'm like, damn, she probably wish she wouldn't have put that video out. Sharon says the same thing about, you'll see it when we get to it. But, that was the first thing that I ran across after I saw the allegations, you dig? So it beckoned me to look further, right? And, this is where we started to go. Check these out.
I don't think that all men cheat. I have been with men who haven't cheated. I know men who do not cheat. I have friends that are in relationships that do not cheat. There is no thing you can do to keep yourself from getting cheated on. You can marry someone and they're the only person that you've ever been with, and you were a virgin when you met them, and you were loyal, they still get cheated on. You can date multiple people. You could be outside. You could still get cheated on. Can you find someone that you feel has, really strong morals in that space and was raised in a family that yes, and you could still get cheated on. The last part of this, though, that I will also add is that when you're talking about people who are in the entertainment industry, when you're talking about people who have access to a variety of different spaces, you can't apply that to everyone's lifestyle. And generally, if you have more access to temptation, it makes it more difficult to stay on the rails. Now, I'm not saying that your man isn't cheating because he doesn't have the opportunity to, I'm just saying that those sensibilities change as well. You cannot control other people's behavior. People are going to treat you how they want to treat you because that's what humans are. Humans do what they want to do.
When that video, Miss Taylor speaking on, it doesn't matter what race, creed, color, organization you belong to, you can be cheated on. You can be outside at all times, get cheated on. You can be in the closet, get cheated on. You can be in the blimp, getting cheated on. You could be a great husband, get cheated on. Now, again, she had no idea that these things were gonna come out. But if she was doing the things that she's accused of doing, it's just super cringe-tastic, man. Just looking at like, damn, Charlotte, this how you was out here talking and wilding like. But you see in the lawsuit, she like, ain't nobody give a damn. She claimed on nobody cares. She can get away with it. It's all good. You dig what I'm saying? What's done under covers, as long as it's with a rubber. I guess that was their slogan. You dig what I'm saying? But yeah, Joy seemed to be savage on both sides of this thing. She's super positive and enlightening and get your glow up. But then she's also a realist that's saying, I get hit. If I'm the husband, I'd have took it like that. I'm like, damn. So Joy basically like, hey, I get hit out here, cause I ain't gonna always. That's basically what. Oh my God, it's cringe as fuck. So look, that was the first little interaction. I said, damn, okay, let me dig a little further. Let me go in furtherance of this here thing, this here rabbit hole I'm looking into. You understand what I'm saying? Rabbit hole. That's kind of interesting this way. Let me chill out. So boom. Alright. So I scroll around more. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, bro, that was kind of a sketchy look. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna hold you. You know what I'm saying? From step 1, that means step 2. Okay, and now we're at step 3.
These hypotheticals have got us in a chokehold, and we must free ourselves. It's fun to argue about. It's fun to talk about what you would do in this scenario, or would you leave the game if the seats were high, or if a man took you this place on a first date, what you would do. And I'm telling you, like, every interaction that I have with people now, in some way or another, these things come up. Can we just keep it a buck? If they're fine enough, if they're funny enough, or if their financial status is what you want. Fine, funny, fucking money. You're throwing all boundaries, standards, all that shit you talked on Instagram about how you would never, and this woman ain't kid, because women this and men this, you're moving forward with this person.
No, my favorite hypothetical, because it's so ridiculous, is when you ask anybody if they would do something outrageous for like $1 million and they say no. It's like, okay, would you do it for 2 million? I mean, would you do it for what's the number? Like, anytime you add money into a hypothetical, people love feeling good about themselves by saying that they wouldn't do it for the money, but it's literally only because it's a hypothetical. If you saw this $1 million in front of your face and I said, do this, are you doing it? So I don't even know if hypotheticals are real indicators of the situation that's being discussed, because I'm starting to think people only use hypotheticals to lie about the circumstance.
Well, today, fine, funny, fucking money. Hypotheticals is hypotheticals. Throw them out the window. I'm getting hit. That's what she told her husband. Maybe she wasn't married when she made these videos. She was just super wild. But son, what are we doing? Joy and Miss Hypothetical Lady, which was let's not even go back into her, bruh, huh? Like, these are the things you don't say out loud. Boy, you want clicks that bad? You just basically said, listen, bro, I ain't gonna hold you. These two ladies just basically said, hey, if you would like to urinate on me, despite what I say when you ask me that question, or if someone, when you see someone ask me that question, I'll be like, girl, no, you can beat all what? Despite what I'm saying with my lips, sir, Mr. Dubai man, you should know that I will indeed do it. This is basically what they just saying. And I mean, just with glee. With glee even. Who does that with glee? Who says the quiet parts out loud with glee? Joy Taylor and hypothetical lady. That's 2 of them. I got another one for you in this video. I ain't gonna hold you. This one lit. I love the look of these 2 ladies. These 3. The other one wasn't bad. But I just gotta call a spade card. I can't call it a heart. I can't do it. So then look at him. I say, well, damn. Read the lawsuit. I look at these here clips, and these are just 3 clips from, these could have just been out of a couple of random days in the life of Joy Taylor. But I'm just like, I mean, it's not like she's denying any of the kind of behavior that is being attributed to her. You understand what I'm saying? I don't think that this lady is making up these visits. And I like, did you see Dixon? You see Dixon? Look at Dixon. No, pause. Let me not keep repeating his name. But look at the guy. Joy, you wildin', baby. What are you doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Shannon Sharp, Skip Bayless, Acho. Hey, come on, Sharp. Then you out here making these kind of statements. It's like, well, yeah, I guess she probably would go for the gusto. You understand what I'm saying? But like I said, this was on the back burner to me. Now, this was on the back burner. Now, I'm going to get into my whole full salient thoughts toward the end of this thing after we wrap it up with the next competitor or the next person that decided to throw their hat into this ring and have an opinion on it, like we can all do. You dig what I'm saying? Some of us have worse opinions than others. So this is what sparked me to get back into this thing. Check this out right here.
Amid Fox Sports lawsuit, Joy Taylor is being dragged over old clips of her romantic views. Is it fair? Well, in a clip from her Too Personal podcast, she says, I bet she regrets naming it that. Too personal. And now she wants to just pull it all back. Can't do that. Doesn't work like that. Can we just keep it a buck? If they're fine enough, if they're funny enough, or if their financial status is what you want, fine. Funny. Effing money. She continued. You're throwing all boundaries and standards. Clips are going viral now, taken away from the real story, the saga of alleged systemic abuse and complicity over almost a decade at the network. Other inappropriate jokes about Taylor and other women in sports media are, of course, already being made. Now, see, this is the part where I am a rebel. Fox Sports, I don't doubt that there's some Wild West type nonsense going on there, just like ESPN and the reporting over the years. But I need people to hear me. I don't care if Joy Taylor was having liaisons with everyone. She's an adult and she can do what she wanna do. If it's forced, if it's, or if it didn't happen. Sometimes people are just better than you at the job. Marcella's only the best people. I don't know that that's the case with you, but that's just my opinion. And that's the beauty of this whole thing. You can kind of get lost in opinions and preferences. But yeah, sometimes they're rooted in sexism and racism and who's hot and who's not. I mean, if the men were judged like that, would Skip Bayless have ever been on TV? No. And that's just a fact. So I hate this double standard, Woes, where it's joy, joy, joy. And she was a diva. Do you know how men act in the workplace, particularly talent sometimes? And you're sitting up here worried about one woman who allegedly had to sleep around to get in the chair. She had no power. Y'all ought to be, I wish more women would replace more of them, even if they're not as good as them, just so you could see how it feels. I know I'm all over the place.
Yes, ma'am. You are indeed all over the place. Man, Sharon Reed went from she doesn't care if she used what she had to get what she want around the Fox News place. She said that the narrative is being shifted from chauvinist practices inside of Fox over to, as she put it, Joy Taylor being a diva. I don't think diva is the word they put on it, bro. It's a 4-letter word. It starts with a T and it ends with a T. I'll let you fill in the blank. But that's what they're accusing her of. It got me to wondering though. I said, man, Sharon has got a lot of Anna. You dig what I'm saying? Like, why so much personality with this here particular topic? And it sparked some memories from back in the day that I had when I first ran across Sharon. But before we get into that, we've got the remainder of this interview, this reply or this rebuttal or this rant, whichever R word you would like to put on it. But just keep in mind the animus that she displayed in the first video as we proceed into the second one, and then we're going to have another one. I'm going to wrap this thing all the way up in a little bow. You dig what I'm saying?
I just think I deserve a pat on the back because I didn't interrupt. And I wanted to. Number one, I will say this about your friend, Marcellus Wiley. Perhaps I am being unfair. The truth is, I didn't like his wife on the one season on Beverly Hills Housewives. She got on my nerves. And so that's just the truth. I said, who cast her? She was annoying start to finish, and then they got rid of her. And I'm human. That could be it. Now, the reason I pat myself on the back for not interrupting you is because I don't know that things will be this heated between us since, what did we argue about the last time? Caitlin Clark? I was right back then, too. The fact that you even have to run down Joy Taylor's resume and judge her as good at her job is exactly the point. Nobody does that with these bums, these men who have been stealing the money in these jobs for years because some groupie executive put them on the air when they shouldn't be on the air, okay? So the standard's not she's great at her job. She'd fit in great if she sucked at her job. If she stunk at her job.
You don't think people should have to be good at their job?
Great. Because there's a lot of male bums doing that job, okay? The other thing is, you said, it turns Me Too on its head. And I wish we had that game show buzzer that when you were wrong, and it was like, it's so loud and annoying. Or you go over on The Price is Right. You're wrong. I'm going to tell you why. Okay, you're invited on to give your opinion. I don't know if Doc would like me doing this, but now I rip it apart. I have to, you understand? And here's why I have to. The minute I stepped into this role that I've prepared for my whole life, that I've dreamed about since I was a little girl, that I've studied, this I wanted more than anything. And some dude, male groupie, notices me and likes me. I guess I have a choice. I can say I'm not interested. If the circumstances are what they are at Fox Sports, how would that play out? Do I just take my ball and go home after I've worked so hard? She wasn't in control of anything. If the circumstances are correct, she had to do something in order to get something she worked hard for, if the circumstances are correct. I think it's only fair I give you the last word.
Should have not offered any words in rebuttal to this. What the fuck? What was she just talking about? She had to do something to get something. Yeah, that's what we're saying. But she pivoted from first, apparently, she's great at the job. That's why she got the job. Then she went into, maybe she's not good at the job, but neither are any of the other bums, as she put it. Now, unless she's talking about Skip Bayless. And to Skip's credit, he has at least been covering sports for 50 years. You dig what I'm saying? But unless you're talking about Skip, but I think it's involving a lot more other people than Skip. So taking Skip out of the equation, Emmanuel Acho, Shannon Sharp, Marcellus Wiley, all played the game. You take Acho out of the equation, you're talking about Marcellus Wiley, someone that played high-level NFL football for a number of years, huh? A man that graduated from Columbia, if I'm not mistaken. Ivy League Academy. You're talking about Shannon Sharp, 3-time Super Bowl champ, Hall of Famer. What exactly in those bios do you formulate the word bum? And you call them bums at covering sports in comparison to Joy Taylor? I think we've got more evidence that Joy Taylor fits that 4-letter word that we put out there than we have evidence of any of those guys being bums in the area of sports broadcasting. Like, what is she talking about? Like, why is she so hot under the collar? What's really going on? What's really going on? And then it sparked in my mind. I said, man, I remember back in the day, I've been in and around the Atlanta area 15, 20 years, you dig? I remember watching the local news telecast one night, and Smoke Show Sharon, for my white brethren out there, Smoke Show Sharon ventured into the camera. I said, who is this? They were not really in my bag too, so I was having things. I felt like, I run across down Fifth Plaza or something. It's in motion, But apparently I didn't know some things about her relationship past. And we go get into that in a minute, because I say, man, who is this? I typed her name in. I saw Sharon Reed. I typed in and looked up. And I saw a story. Related to a one LeBron James, King James, if you will. I said, man, that's an interesting little write-up right there. That's an interesting little story. But I hadn't heard a lot of chatter around that in the years to come. And I'll offer my ending thoughts on it here at the end of this video. But, I got to clicking around. Reading about it. Like, what's really going on with that story these days? Any more smoke where this fire is, any more fire where the smoke is. And the internet had its way of directing me to this little video right here.
You feel like you're a polarizing figure?
Sure, sometimes, sure.
Why is that?
Again, professionally, personally, I think people read stuff about me.
Yeah.
And wonder if it's true. And I think then they turn on the TV and I sound a certain way,
right,
and I have a certain diction.
Okay.
And I think that they are confused sometimes. Mm-hmm. But I will say this, the beauty of television news, unlike movies, real stars out in Hollywood who go and fight to do that and have a 1% chance of hitting gold. I do think that we're lucky in this regard. In TV news, look how much I'm on. So every day I get a chance to welcome somebody different, and I get a chance to show them who I really am, because you can't be a fraud. Right. Viewers are too smart.
Yeah, they know what's going on.
They see exactly who you are. You're on too much.
Yeah.
And so that is a gift. They may read some trash and think, oh, well, she's out there like that. And then they'll turn it on and say, nope, forget it.
What's the biggest rumor you heard about yourself?
What's the biggest rumor you've heard about me?
Oh, you got a baby with LeBron.
I've never talked about that.
Yeah, that's the biggest rumor.
I've never, ever talked about that. And people think I don't talk about it because,
it's true.
They think maybe it's true.
Right.
I have fear about, talking about the king and I. But first of all, there's people who actually believe that. I might believe it too, because of the detail and the depth that was written. But the reason, I guess until now, that I've never talked about it is because I'm big on not just being authentic.
Right.
I think that's why I resonate with viewers.
Yeah.
There's always more work to do. But I don't own other people's. I own my own mess.
Ish, yeah.
Right. And so, there's a little bit of a conflict because it involves, I love my daughter more than anything, but I do think too, she's going to have to grow up knowing who her mother is,
right,
knowing who I'm not. She sees me every day. She knows exactly who I am already. But also knowing that I work in the public eye.
Right.
I work in a business where it's full of great people, but it's also full of crabs in a barrel who see you. And if they think you got something, or you're the it girl, or you're doing something, they want to bring that down. So I'm well aware of what it is. Do I know LeBron? No. Probably had more conversations with his, and by the way, when that rumor came out, he wasn't even married, whatever. Probably had more conversations with his now wife under the tunnel than him. It's trash, perpetuated by people who want it to be true. That said, if you want to believe that, I'm okay with that too.
Well, you just said it's not true, though.
It's not true, but there's going to be people listening right now who still think Sharon Reed has a baby with LeBron James, right? That's a sexy thing for them to think. It's a way they think to put me down. I can think of worse things you could say about somebody than she has a baby with an international basketball star. If it's true, it's true. It's not. But I wouldn't even tear a woman down if that is true.
You get linked to a lot of people, though.
There's more out there. Keep it coming. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Is there anybody else you want to ask me about, Ryan?
I've been linked to you.
Is that why I'm here? Is that why I'm first?
That's what I was like.
Is that why I'm first this morning?
We never even had lunch. Like, somebody came to me. They say, "Yeah, I was in the mall, and I heard this lady say, yeah, Ryan and Sharon." I was like,
"Is that why I was late this morning?" Right? Kept me up late, huh?
Yeah. Okay. So no baby with LeBron, huh?
There's no baby with LeBron. I wish him the best.
Right.
I'm not even well, I don't say that because, the Cavs, I used to work for the team a little bit. But,
Did you work in Miami too?
I did. I was a reporter there.
Was LeBron there?
No.
The conspiracy theorists say that,
I was in Miami.
You followed LeBron.
Actually, years earlier. You see how people do that? Yeah. Years earlier. Check my resume, But again, it's just not something. It's one of those things where I feel like if you fight too hard against it, it just makes you look guilty.
Me does think thou protest too much.
Right. And then I'm like, well, what if it is true? Then what? Right. You know what I mean? Right. Then what? What does that mean exactly? What does that mean?
We got more coming up.
Oh,
I'm glad. That's your first time ever talking about that, huh?
That's my very first time, and I told you why. People think it's because I'm afraid of it. No. But I will also say this. People love to dance around that. I respect the fact that you looked me in the eye and you asked me the question, do you have a baby with LeBron?
Now, I don't know about you, but the reaction to Ryan Cameron and his upfront, full frontal questioning of her about this child and LeBron James and her reply was nothing convincing. Now, there could be a couple of angles on that. You dig what I'm saying? Because I ain't gonna hold you. I feel like that's bro baby. I feel like that's bro baby. Because you see, when he asked her, she never said, well, no, this is actually her dad. I don't know that there's any pictures out there that exist with her and who she claims to be the little girl's dad. I do know that she was working in Cleveland at the time. I do know that, when she left Cleveland, apparently when she went to Miami, bro left Cleveland, went to Miami, then she ended up in Atlanta. She said people rarely ask her that. And King James LeBron James, he's got a reputation as a squeaky clean face of the NBA, never been in any trouble, you know what I'm saying? Great husband, great father, him and Savannah, like the Barack and Michelle of this thing out there. You dig what I'm saying? So I guess I could see the interest in keeping that under wraps, but I definitely understand, a lot of these things happen. These are frequent occurrences out here. You know what I'm saying? I look at Shout, bro, in his little younger times, and just her whole rebuttal from that. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. I can see the interest in wanting to keep the interest in that topic. That would just always be something to just kind of keep her on the peripheries of an interesting interview, or you dig what I'm saying? This intriguing person that may or may not have a baby by LeBron. She sort of crumbled there though. I feel like it's completely true, bro. Just the way that she reacted to that. Because the simple thing to do would be like, no, this is my child's father. Here he is. You know what I'm saying? So, for me, I'm like, well, yeah, man. I guess that's why she's so frustrated. Because you got to think about the angle of having a child by this billionaire face of the league, but having to be kind of on the fringe, just out of the way. But I'm like, well, with you having that kind of leverage, shouldn't that allow you to be in a position of favor? You dig what I'm saying? Seemed like bro had to pay like he weighed. So it's like, well, she out here working and doing these little shows and stuff. Like maybe she's trying to play it off, because if she was somewhat just balling with no obvious sign of income, then maybe would be like, yeah, that's because that LeBron chick. You dig what I'm saying? But her reaction to that, man, left a lot to be desired in the area of proving the naysayers wrong, letting the naysayers know. You dig what I'm saying? Jalen Miro, gone to the league, bro. We appreciate your services down there in Tuscaloosa, man, but it is time for you to ascend on to a higher plane, my brother. We appreciate you. Go ahead. But yeah, man, it was a really cold take, man. Trae Young status type shit, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, when you think about it, I could see her being upset, bro. You dig what I'm saying? If she's been pushed out on the fringes, man, really can't really come out here, don't have the leverage to make him pay up or something. You could I guess you could come into understanding with the animus she had behind this, but I thought it was just a ridiculous take on this turn of events. It's not like Joy Taylor came out with a lawsuit and said that she was being harassed or mistreated in the workplace and everybody like, oh, no, you was just throwing that thing in a circle. You know what I'm saying? That ain't what happened, bro. Like, Charlotte says she got Miss Ferrari, says she got fired, and all the players that came together to make an unsavory work environment for her included Joy Taylor and the antics that she's been accused of. So I don't see the stance that Sharon is coming with, not caring and calling people bums and all in defense of Joy Taylor and what happened to the believe all women. Now, is there something about Miss Farage's makeup as a person and Joy Taylor's that makes Miss Sharon Reed take one side against the other? I don't know, but it's a horrible take, man, and I just feel like she got like some personal animus, man, when it comes to these dominating male athletes, man, and what they get away with, because that's a big part of her retort there. You dig what I'm saying? Like, they get away with it all the time, and I'm just like, unless you were out here filing a suit about that, then what? You know, but again, once I thought about it, and her and this linking to LeBron and all the signs just kind of pointing to it to say that it's true, but her having to live on the periphery, man, and not being able to enjoy the life that Miss Savannah enjoys, I think that had something to do with the way she came back talking, and I thought it was just a horrible take, man. Just, again, freezing cold. You dig what I'm saying? So I had to bring it to my folks. Now, we'll see what happens with this lawsuit, man, see who gets fired, see who gets hired, see who settles, but I would imagine that, I don't know, Skip is probably not gonna get divorced. They on up in the age. What is Miss Lady gonna do? So they're probably gonna stay together. Well, he didn't have sex with her, apparently. He just offered her $1.5 million. Shannon's not married. He'll play out here. Acho either. The only one standing to lose anything sounds to be Mr. Dixon. And if his wife were to leave him, I'm pretty sure she's gonna clean up. And Miss Taylor, you know what I'm saying? She would lose her gig. I think that would probably taint her image. An image that I don't think was bolstered by a high level of sports acumen. Not to say that she was bad at the job, but I don't think she brought anything to the table that can't be replaced. You dig what I'm saying? And so with having this kind of baggage behind her, she's probably the other person in line for something to lose. The other guys, you know, for what it's worth, or for better or worse, however you want to view it, I mean, should they be beat up for having sex with a female that was willing to have sex with them? I don't know that there's, the two aren't the same. You know, Joy can't say that, because when you preach empowerment and all of that, but then you'll jump on the video and say, well, basically, if the money right, I'm with it. You know, those two worlds, those are competing ideas. You know what I'm saying? You can't have both of those on the same plate and people not point it out and say, hey, you know, those are actually two different things on your plate. Those aren't the same meal. That's not the same cuisine. You dig what I'm saying? That's what we're doing. So we'll see what happens, man. If you know, Fallout starts to get messy, it says there ought to be, it may be people added to this thing. And if it's some relevant sources and some people that deserve more scrutiny, I'll bring it to you all. But up until that point, this has been That Way with Jasc Travis. I'll get at y'all soon. Out.